Have you ever felt like you are completely stuck? You know, those moments in life where the walls are too high, the ground is too slippery, and no matter how hard you try, you just keep sliding back down. It feels like the universe is working against you. I think we have all been there. It's easy to handle life when things are going well, but your true character comes out when you are drowning in a situation you didn't ask for. Today, I want to tell you a story. It's a simple story about two little friends, but if you really listen to it, it holds the secret to why you should never give up, even when everything looks hopeless. This isn't just a fairy tale, it's a reality check for anyone going through a hard time right now. Let me take you back to a small, quiet farm. It was the kind of place where nothing much ever happened. The days were long, the sun was hot, and life moved slowly. In this place, there were two best friends. They were frogs. Now, these weren't just random animals. They were like brothers, but they were very different from each other. The first one was big. He was strong, loud, and confident. He relied on his muscles and his size. If there was a problem, he would usually just push his way through it. Then there was the second one. He was tiny, he was skinny, and didn't look like much, but he had a lot of heart. He was the kind of guy who was always curious, always exploring. One afternoon, the heat was unbearable. It was one of those days where the air feels heavy. The two friends were hopping around the barn looking for some shade or maybe a puddle to cool off in. That's when they saw it. Sitting in the corner of the barn, near the cowshed, was a massive metal bucket. They hopped over to investigate. They couldn't see over the rim, so they did what frogs do. They jumped. They wanted to see if there was cool water inside. Without thinking twice, they launched themselves into the air and landed with a giant splash. But it wasn't water. It was thick, creamy white milk. It was fresh from the cow, warm and rich. At first, it was actually kind of nice. They swam around, drinking a little bit, enjoying the swim. But after a few minutes, they decided it was time to leave. This is where the nightmare began. They swam to the edge of the bucket, but the walls were made of slippery metal. There was nothing to grab onto, no rocks, no moss, no cracks, just slippery, cold metal. The big frog tried to push himself up, but his wet paws just slid right back down. He tried again and again, scratch, slide, splash. The level of the milk was too low to jump out, and the sides were too steep to climb. They were trapped. For the first hour, they both swam with a lot of energy. They were sure someone would come. They were sure they would figure it out. But the farm was silent. The farmer was gone. The sun started to go down, and the barn got darker. The milk, which felt nice at first, started to feel heavy. It was clinging to their skin. Every kick required more effort than swimming in water. It was like swimming in quicksand. The big frog, the strong one, started to panic. He was used to using his power to win, but here, his power meant nothing. He kicked and thrashed, wasting all his energy fighting the liquid. He looked at his small friend and gasped, "This is useless. Look at these walls. There is no way out. We're just prolonging the pain." The small frog looked at him, his little legs burning with exhaustion. "We can't stop. If we stop, we drown. We just have to keep swimming until something happens." "But what could possibly happen?" the big frog argued. "No one is coming. My legs are cramping. I'm tired, brother. I'm just so tired." This is the scary part of the story. The big frog, despite all his strength, lost the battle in his mind first. He looked at the impossible situation and decided that the struggle wasn't worth it. He stopped kicking. For a moment, he floated. Then slowly, he exhaled. He let the heaviness of the milk take him. He sank below the surface and didn't come back up. Imagine that feeling. He just watched his best friend give up and disappear. He was heartbroken. He was terrified. His muscles were screaming in pain. Every single nerve in his body was telling him to stop. His brain was saying, "Just let go. It's easy. Just stop kicking and the pain goes away." This went on for hours. It wasn't a quick process. It was kick, 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 silence. Kick, 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 darkness. He felt like he was crying, but you couldn't tell in the milk. He thought about his family back in the pond. He thought about the feeling of grass under his feet. He decided that if he was going to die, he would die kicking. He wouldn't let the milk take him easily. So he kept moving. His tiny legs were like pistons. He found a rhythm in the pain. Left, right, left, right. He wasn't trying to escape anymore. He was just trying to stay alive for one more second, and then one more second after that. Sometime deep in the night, something strange started to happen. The small frog was so tired he thought he was hallucinating. The liquid around him, it felt different. It was getting thicker. It wasn't splashing anymore. It was moving like thick mud. The more he kicked,
the harder the liquid became. He didn't know it, but his constant movement, that refusal to stop, was churning the cream in the milk. He was physically changing the environment around him with his hard work. The milk turned into whipped cream, then it turned into a thick paste, and finally, under the moonlight coming through the barn window, the liquid solidified. He had turned the milk into butter. He felt something solid under his feet. He wasn't swimming anymore, he was standing. He climbed on top of the mound of yellow butter he had created with his own struggle. He was exhausted, he was sad, but he was alive. From the top of the butter, he could reach the rim of the bucket. With one last painful hop, he launched himself over the edge and landed on the dry, dusty floor of the barn. He lay there for a long time, breathing in the cool night air. He looked back at the bucket. It was a grave for his friend, but it was a victory platform for him. Years went by. The small frog grew up. He found a mate and had many children, but he never forgot that night. He would gather his little ones around him by the pond and tell them the story of the bucket. He taught them that talent and strength are great, but they are useless without the will to keep going. So why did I tell you this? Because right now, you might be in that bucket. Maybe you've lost a job or a relationship, or you feel like you're failing at your dreams. You are kicking and nothing is changing. You feel like the big frog ready to sink. But you have to realize that failure is not the end of your story. The change happens slowly. You can't see the butter forming while you're swimming. You just have to trust that it is happening. This story is the ultimate example of personal growth. When you feel the burn, that is when you are building mental strength. The big frog had the muscles, but he lacked resilience. The small frog had nothing but the belief that he could survive. That is the success mindset you need. Life is going to test you. It will throw obstacles in your way that seem impossible to climb. But if you keep kicking, if you keep working, you will eventually turn your struggle into solid ground. Take this as a life lesson for today. Do not let your current circumstances define your future. Keep moving. Hard work doesn't always show results immediately, but it always pays off in the end. This is the core of self-improvement. You have to be willing to suffer a little bit to get to the other side. If you are looking for inspiration, look at your own struggles. You are churning your own butter right now. Don't sink, just keep kicking. If this story touched your heart, or if you needed to hear this today, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. It really helps get this message to other people who might be struggling. And if you want more stories like this, make sure to subscribe and join our community. We are all just trying to hop out of the bucket together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.